Hi everyone, this is just a quick video because I've had question regarding the Japanese braid that is part of my Scarab Beetle kits, and I thought the easiest way to explain it was to just demonstrate it. So this is a bit of a rough video, quickly done, not much of editing or anything, and hopefully it'll be easier to explain. So this is the instruction you have in the kit, where you basically start by stitching those long stitches above your padding from 1 to 8, and then you go back into the other direction and start stitching on top from A to G. Then the idea is then you go back to 1 to 8, so then on top you add another set of those green stitches. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by just stitching it on this bit of calico. So I've got two lines. There's no padding in the middle, but obviously you will have padding as part of your beetle legs. But I'm just going to do this quickly and very crudely, if I can say, where we're going to have gaps in the middle so you can see what I'm doing. But basically you come up on one side, down the other. Then obviously when you're going to do this, you're going to come very close to each other. I'm just going to open it up so you can see the stitches, but you're coming right up to the previous stitch, and then you maintain the same angle and cover it and do like almost like a satin stitch motion as an angle. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm doing 4 stitches in one direction, and of course I've opened them up, but you're not opening them, that yours will be very like next to each other. Now same level as where you started, but this time in the other direction. So I'm starting on the other side of the line and I'm crossing them over. Again, I'm opening them in order to make this obvious, but yours are close together. So now, if you refer back to your instruction, I'm doing the stitches from A to G, and I've got that crossover on the top. Right, now to do the next set, I'm going back to my original 1 to 8 stitches, so my green stitches on the instruction, and I'm starting again just below. So yours will be close to each other. You can see this, mine will, I'm spacing mine out on purpose, but I'm starting back here and I carry on, same angle. And obviously you're going to have the finishing end of those stitches, but that's not a problem, you just cover them over. And again, you do 4 stitches in that direction. My hoop is not tightened or anything, so don't pay attention to that. And now I'm going back to the set of pink stitches on your instruction. Again, straight under the last group you did. And I just carry on doing another 4 stitches. And my next set will go back to under those 4 stitches here and in that direction, so it forms that effect on top that is basically looks like a braid. If I do the same thing here, let me start another thread, but if I do the same thing on a smaller scale, so same thing on this side. So I'm starting with my green stitches in the instruction, which is stitches number 1 to 8. This time I'm doing it very close to each other, exactly as I would do satin stitch basically. And then A to G on in the other direction. Fourth one. And now I'm going back to the 1 to 8 by starting right immediately underneath the previous section. Ooh, that's a bad one. Let me redo that. That's better. And as you can see, I'm ignoring the fact that I've got some stitches finishing there. I'm just making sure my stitches are in the right direction. And there's no gap in the middle, not like here, like this gap shouldn't be here. And then A to G on the other side, immediately underneath the previous section. So one of the things I'm doing in order to turn the angle here is that I am opening the stitches on the outside, so like rather than having it straight here, I will leave a small gap, not enough to actually physically like seeing a gap, but enough to change the direction of my stitches. And at the top here I'm getting closer together, so I'm making sure this side is very closed and this one is slightly open, because that way I can turn those angles, and that's what you're going to need to do in your beetle. And again, 1 to 8, I'm going back to the other side, and I just carry on like that. This time I'm opening up the angle on the outside as I said, and then closing it on the inside, so opening on this side, closing in here, so I do get that nice shift. That makes sense. So it's basically 4 stitches in one direction and 4 stitching in the other direction, and then you just carry on, and it creates that braid effect right in the middle, which is a very nice effect. I hope this explains it, and don't hesitate if it doesn't to ask me more questions. Thank you.